Hello, this is Kirk Brown, and this is my 5-minute testimony. Okay, where to begin? I've always grown up in a Christian-oriented home. My parents were always very devout Christians. They always wanted me to go to church, tithe properly, do the right things, obey God's commands. I've never been a bad kid. I've never strayed away. I accepted Jesus in my heart when I was 8 years old at The Rapture. It's like a play that they did, pretty much scare hell into you, if that makes sense. Anyways, so I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior then. One Sunday, my mom said, "Get dressed, we're going to church." I'm like, "Awesome, where are we going today?" She's like, "We're going to a church called Pine Grove Baptist Church." The first Sunday I went, my youth pastor, or soon-to-be youth pastor, came up to me, and the first thing he said was, "Hey, what's your name?" I told him my name. He was like, "You play an instrument?" I was like, "I play guitar," because, I did, but really the only thing I knew how to play was Smoke on the Water, that sound that goes like. But that's the only thing I knew how to play. So I was like, yeah, I know how to play guitar. But really, I had no clue. So right after church that day, he offered for us to go play in the band because they're starting up a band. And okay, long story short, started the band. We were there for about a year. About a year later, that church, about a bunch of families in that church and the band split up to start a new church. We just felt like God was laying it on our hearts to start a church called New Life Baptist Church. Being the band, I started growing more towards God, more and more through music, and that was just something that really inspired me. When I talked to God, when I prayed, I had a guitar in my hand. Whenever I was just singing to Him, I had a guitar in my hand. Whenever I was just talking to God, I had a guitar in my hand. It's just one of those things that I can't really explain, but it's something that brought me a lot closer to Him. So I started feeling a calling towards leading worship. That was just not a hobby. It wasn't something that I was just going through, but it was my passion. It was something that in my heart I felt like when I help lead people to God with an encounter to experience the presence of Jesus, that is something that should be honored. That is something that I should not take for granted. Like, I will never be worthy to open up the door for God's presence to seek in. But God has placed me in a position where I'm able to do that, and for that I'm eternally grateful. My pastor noticed that I wanted to get more into worship ministry, and so he met with me once a week, and he talked about ministry and what it would be like. And it was the September of 2011 is when I became on staff as the worship leader / worship pastor at New Life Baptist Church. It was a big role to fill for being 19 years old, and you get a lot of discrimination, or you feel a lot of insecurities, I guess you can say, with a lot of the elders in the church because you're the youngest person on staff. But it's something God called me to, and so I'm not going to let age take me from that. And to this day, I'm still on staff at the church. God has really blessed me over these past few years, and I've realized that worship is my calling. Worship is going to be my career. It's something that's a part of me that God has placed in my life. And if I'm going to continue being on staff at a church or going into full-time ministry with worship leading, or worship pastoring, whatever it may be, I want more knowledge. And so that's why I'm here at North Greenville. School is just something that has just blessed me. And I was just so excited when I got the news that I was coming here. And whenever I found out about the band auditions, I didn't want it to make it about me. I didn't want it to make it, oh, that would be cool to lead worship on stage in front of the whole school. I didn't want it to be about me. I prayed that God would open my eyes and give me if He wanted me to do this, if He wanted me to lead worship for this band, then it would be under His command, not mine. And so I prayed about it, and I remember the first chapel service that we had here in spring 2013. I remember God just told told me, he just spoke to me. He said, do what you've been called to do. That's all he said, was do what you've been called to do. I'm like, but Lord, I don't want to be up there on stage in front of everyone. I mean, I know I'm on staff at my church, but Lord, I don't want to be on stage in front of everyone leading them thinking, because I want to make sure it's what you want, not what I want. And I want to be sure of that. And all he kept on saying was, do what you've been called to do. And that's lead worship. And so that's what this testimony is about, is to allow me to help this school encounter Jesus and the Spirit. Just let the Spirit just fill this place. And my walk with God has completely, over the past couple of years, just skyrocketed. I'm on fire, and I'm ready to set the school on fire. Not literally, just spiritually. Thanks, guys. God bless.